Hey you guys, hello. It's 1:14 a.m., making this officially the latest vlog I've ever recorded in my entire life. Ever. Actually, that's not true. I don't know if it's the latest one I've ever recorded in my entire life, but it's pretty late for these after the show vlogs. And actually, we recorded the show early tonight. We recorded it at 5:30, and then I met up with a friend and drove around LA because I'm neighborhood shopping right now. That's right, you guys. I'm going to move out of my parents' house. It's time. And if this is the first time you're ever watching this, though, I want to say that that I should have recorded this hours ago when I was a little bit sharper. No, I'd like to make it clear that it's not as if I've been living continuously at my parents' house and now I'm thinking it's time to branch out. For many, many years, I had put childhood and all of this behind me, and then I got sucked back in, which I've talked about in another vlog. So anyway, it's just a temporary little thing. And this, I'm in Orange County now, but I work in LA. And so I'm going to be moving up to LA, but I don't know what neighborhood I want to live in, hence the driving around. What else do I want to say? Well, so the reason that the podcast was early tonight is because Adam was going to be on Doug Loves Movies, and that's Doug Benson's podcast, and had to record that. That records it. You have to be there at 7:15. And Brian and I were on that podcast a few weeks ago, and there was some trying to figure out how to make this less boring than it's going to be. I won't go into all the scheduling details, but it was a little bit complicated, but then we found a way to both be on it at the same time. So Adam was going to be on tonight, and then I found out as soon as I got to the studio that it turns out Brian's going to be on it tonight too. And now Doug had said something about wanting to get all three of us on the podcast, and I was so miffed when I found out that Brian was going to be on it and that they didn't ask me. Which, when I take a step back, I think, A, how old are you? But my birthday is coming up, May 11th, and I do tend to act more immature around my birthday. But anyway, I was like, how old are you? And where do you get off thinking that, like, you're entitled to be on the podcast just because they're on the pod? I don't know. It was weird. It was sort of like, it was like Sibling Rivalry, actually. It was the most bizarre reaction I was having, because I was joking about being pissed about it, and underneath all the joking about being pissed was real being pissed, and underneath that was the realization that this is ridiculous, and who really cares, and I have other plans anyway. But I did definitely act like I was being left out of a party. And Brian didn't even realize that I wasn't going to be on the podcast. It was a last minute thing, and then he was asked this morning. Doug asked him, because Brian has been beating the drum loudly about wanting another chance on the podcast because he thinks he was, beaten unfairly in the Leonard Maltin game. I have to point out that I beat him, and I think it was fair and square. And Brian, if you're watching this, I stamp on my words. But, he came in and I hit him with some, like, I can't believe you, blah, 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 jokingly. And then he didn't realize that I wasn't going to be on. And this is how nice he is. He's like, I won't do it if you don't want me to. And then I said, which of course was probably calling my bluff. And then I was like, I know I would never do that to you. Because I wouldn't. What else? I feel like there's something else. I feel like there's a lot of other things. But I can't think of what they are right now. Right now at 1:19 a.m. I do want to say thank you guys. I thanked you on the vlog last night, but thank you so much for all of your great comments on these YouTube videos, on my blog, on Twitter. I know that I've talked in the past yesterday when I was young, about some jerks and haters on the internet. But you guys are more than making up for it. And, I mean, regardless even of whether you have nice things or mean things to say, maybe not regardless of whether you have mean things to say, but just in general, the way you guys are what am I trying to say? I am a public speaker. And this is why. No. How was I trying to say? I have a little zit here, by the way. I shouldn't be touching it. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know, just the way you guys are engaging with what I'm saying and stuff. It's fun. It's neat. Keep it up. Okay. I think it's time for me to take my makeup off and say goodnight. So, okay then. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night.